Congratulations on the show.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
I think in this crazy time, I think we all need a bit of joy and a bit of laughter. So I really I really
Yeah.
enjoyed it, even though I'm not the target audience, I'm sure. But
No.
if I enjoyed it, I'm sure everybody else would. Yeah, it's great
Good.
fun. I mean, it must have been a very easy thing to get involved with the books and everything. But what was the kind of the catalyst for you to get involved? Because you're not just voicing it, but you're an exec producer as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, James, who came up with the idea, used to tell this story to his children when they were growing up. And James has such a passion for what he's doing with this project that I couldn't help but want to get involved. And I've always wanted to do a lot of voiceover work for animated characters anyway. So this was an opportunity to get involved with something I've always wanted to do as well.
Yeah. And I guess it
Mm.
saves time on, makeup and Ewok costumes, just going into a booth in your sweatpants.
Well, that's right, exactly, yeah. And now I get to record from home right here in this booth as well. So the thing is, you still have to brush your hair because you see the director and the engineer via Zoom. So you still have to kind of look good as well.
Yeah. I've been doing quite a few of these during lockdown. I
Mm.
always wear a shirt, but then most people I've spoken to so many celebrities who are like, oh yeah, I've got a shirt on, but I've got shorts on because, I'm sitting at home.
I was going to say, are you wearing trousers, Scott, right now?
I am wearing trousers. Yes. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
It's actually a famous story from the set of Star Wars: A New Hope. It was so hot in 1976 that some of the Imperial officers didn't wear trousers during the scene around the table with Darth Vader because you couldn't see their feet.
Oh
And
really?
also,
never knew that.
Peter Cushing wouldn't wear the boots either, so he never wore the boots.
Goodness me, they were ahead of
Yeah,
their time then with these
absolutely, yeah.
examples. So I mean, what are the kind of unique challenges of doing voiceover? Because I've heard so many stories of different people, whether it's Tom Hanks doing Toy
Yeah,
Story, and Simon Pegg doing stuff that it's still quite an art form in many ways because you're using a lot of your body and you're using your voice so
it
much.
is.
So what
Yeah.
is that experience like?
Well, you'd think it'd be much easier just sitting in a studio, just recording your voice, but you have to put a lot more into it, easily as much as you would if you were standing live on a set being filmed. I'm sitting here and I'm moving around as if I was Master Moley. I'm putting so much energy through my voice. So then the animators have something to play with once they start to create the character animations. They'll also sometimes record me doing this visually so they can take some of my facial expressions and hand gestures that I'm doing while I'm recording, which really then fits perfectly with the animation and my voice at the same time. But it's a lot of fun, I must say. I have a real kick in the studio doing it. And then also seeing it animated as well. That's the biggest thrill for me, seeing what the animators actually do with it after I've done my bit of work.
Yeah, I remember a story with Robin Williams when he played Aladdin. That such was his kind
Mm.
of performance and everything that they had to stop kind of animating and wait for him to do his stuff before they
Yeah,
could animate the genie because there was just so much going on in his performance before it even been animated.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, I imagine that's true. Yeah, he was a larger than life character, wasn't
It was indeed. I mean, these stories. I mean,
he? Mm.
they're fascinating. These stories, and I've just heard that you've got commissioned for a series, which is fantastic news.
Yeah, yeah, we're
So
very
there's
excited. Yeah.
so many stories I can imagine. I mean, what do you think it is about this story? Because there's so much heart and there's a lot of kind of life lessons for kids, but also there's a certain enjoyment, as I say, for adults as well, in that it's larger than
Yeah.
life and there's a lot of kind of bits going on that keep the mind going, as it were.
Well, there's a lot of humor in there as well,
Mm.
which is an important thing that I'm very keen to make sure we see in the scripts as we're working on the new ones. And as you say, like morals and life lessons, there are those in there as well. We don't profess to be educational, but I think it's important that we touch on subjects that, you know, animation may normally shy away from. There's a lot of life lessons and morals and stories like that. But it's the fun for me. Moley is essentially a fun character, and there's this whole world underneath our feet that we don't know about. Anywhere you are on the planet, there could be a mole town underneath you because moles actually live under every continent on Earth. So mole town is everywhere if you think about that.
Yeah, well, yes, I imagine. Hopefully, they're not under my like floorboards, but I'm sure they're
No.
in my flat or something. That's
Yeah.
the other thing as well. The great thing about this is that with animation is that you can get so many amazing people to be part of the project, and you have
Oh
that
yeah.
with your special. You've got Gemma, you've got Richard E. Grant, Charles Dance, Julie Walters, all these amazing
Oh
personalities
yeah.
that bring their energies and their acting skills to the table for you to be able to bring these characters to life.
Oh yeah. They're all fabulous people as well, and some of them I know from having worked with them before on other things. But sadly, we don't get to sit opposite each other when we record our lines either. We only get to enjoy each other's performances when we see the finished project.
Yeah, and I guess even
Um,
more so now with
mm,
restrictions and stuff. But that's that. I guess that's the sad, the only sad part of it is that you don't get to kind of interact with everybody as you go, and you're all
no,
separate.
that's right. Yeah, but it is, even without COVID, it would be unusual to sit in the same studio anywhere and record.
Yeah,
It's usually done very separately. I got to sit with Gemma and do some scenes because Moley and Mona Lisa have a scene together. So we felt it was important we were in the same room for that to get the kind of energy and the chemistry and dynamic across.
yeah. There's a
Mm.
great sequence in in the coffee shop where everything.
Yeah.
That's the fantastic little scene that is. That was so much fun. A great kind of throwback to like Peter Sellers and Naked Gun, and
Oh yeah.
a bit of fumbling, and he's trying to be alluring to her at
Trying
the
to be
same
all
time.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I love that. I love that comedy like that. It's fantastic. Uh,
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank
yeah.
you. Yeah.
Well,
It's
what I
cool.
mean, what obviously you got the special coming out, and then you've got the series. I mean, how excited are you for that? Because I would imagine that's a lot of work, but at the same time, very fulfilling work, and work that's gonna hopefully, for kids, it's gonna make a difference. In terms of even just watching it, but also, as you say, with the life lessons and
Mm.
everything. There's a lot of places for you to explore.
Absolutely. It's a lot of work, but it's also fun work, knowing the final destination will be on screens for kids to enjoy, which is what's fabulous. And alongside the series, obviously, there's lots more avenues we're exploring to kind of further youngsters access to the show. You can now play a video game as well. Roblox have done a Master Moley video game, which is fun as well. Um, and also there is going to be some Moley figure as well. I've just seen the prototype for it. It's about this big. It's kind of actual scale, how big he would actually be in real life. And for me, I get a kick out of all of that stuff. It's really, really cool.
Yeah.
And
I guess he'll have a good place on your shelf with all of
he
all the
will. He'll
Star
go
Wars.
along with this here. This is an original Willow figure, which
Oh
I
my
dug
goodness!
out
Now,
recently because of the announcement of the series.
my
When
goodness,
I've been doing my Zoom calls with the writers, I've had him sat here on the side to bring us good luck. Yeah.
inspiration. It's inspiration.
But yeah, I've got Lego minifigures of characters I've played, and all sorts of things. Yeah, as an actor, it's great when you get immortalized in plastic. You know you've made it.
You've made it. Yeah, that's the thing. Everybody's forget Oscars, forget prizes. It's to be
Oh
immortalized in
yeah, it's the
plastic.
action figures. Yeah.
And I read on the release that they sent to the press about how
Mm.
much you enjoy it when you showed it to an audience for the first time. You said how much you
Oh
enjoyed it. You
yeah.
said it was more fun than Star Wars. Was that because of the amount of input you kind of had, that it was fulfilling in a different way that maybe Star Wars was just
Yeah,
you
it
very
was
inspired by
creatively
something?
very fulfilling for me. Yeah, because I act as exec producer now and had a lot of input creatively in the special. What's great about animation is you do your voice, you deliver your performance, they animate it, and then you can go back afterwards. You can look at what's been done, and you can add little bits into that, and they can adjust it afterwards. And there were so many areas I felt I could add a little line here and a bit of humor here, even if it's just sometimes a little mumble or something like that under your breath. These things all kind of add to the richness of the whole experience and the whole project. And we screened it actually for our investors at the IMAX, which on Leicester Square, the Cineworld right there. So I mean, it's obviously something created for these very small screen TV, but we showed it on an IMAX size screen, and it was actually pretty. It's exciting because we knew how good it was, but it was terrifying at the same time when you present the work that's so close to you to a wider audience, and everyone who was there seemed to love it.
Yeah, I mean, that's a fantastic platform
Mm.
to have on an IMAX screen. I bet it looked fantastic.
It did, and the next thing I saw at that screen was the Rise of Skywalker, which was weird. I was like, wow, we were watching Moley here a couple of weeks ago.
I saw Rise of Skywalker on that IMAX screen.
Mm.
It's pretty. You have to kind of sit like this, don't you, to kind of
Yeah,
get
because
it
you're
all
quite
in.
close, aren't you? It's
Yeah, quite
epic, isn't
close.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember the first time I saw Harry Potter when I done Grip Hook. Seeing Grip Hook at an IMAX size, how the makeup held up
Mm,
was amazing. Actually, I was like, wow, it looks incredible, even at that scale. Mm.
yeah, and I guess also, I mean, I guess because you're doing one of the PRs just said about possibly 50 episodes for the show. Are you going to be
Mm.
calling in a few favors to Star Wars and Harry Potter alum to maybe lend their voices to the stories?
Be great, wouldn't it? I mean, my daughter's going to be part of the series because she's an actress in her own right now. She's in a series called The Dumping Ground for the BBC. And she's heard me in here. Her art studio is right next door to my booth here. So she hears me now and again, you know, laughing and doing my Moley thing in here. And she popped her head in one day and said, what are you up to? And then she sat down and read a bit of the script for the director. And me being an exec producer helps in these things. But so she's now involved as a character as well, which is really fab. And Harrison, my son, he's chomping at the bit to have a go as well. So it may well become a family affair by the time we're done.
Yeah, I think you need someone like Robbie Coltrane's voice, don't you, to kind of
must
be a character
amazing,
in there for him,
yeah.
surely.
Oh, it's got to be, yeah. And also these things kind of have a snowball type effect. You know, the more people that get involved, you know, you've got names like Julie Walters and Charles Dance. It attracts other actors to think, oh, I'd like to have a piece of that as well. You know, so we're hoping that's what happens with Moley, or we can bring in some few more big names.
Yeah, and there's no excuse for them if they can do it at home in their pants. Let's be honest.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I've just got a vision of Robbie in his pants now. I don't want that. Thank you.
No, don't want that. I did just want to ask you about Willow, because me being a child of the 80s, it was one of my favorites growing up, and has always had a special place in my heart. And now there's obviously, you spoke about there's news that you've got directors and writers and runs involved. I just wondered what your reaction was when it was kind of pitched to you. I know you obviously can't tell me anything, but when it was pitched to you, what was your kind of reaction? Because there has been a lot of time, but also it's testament to the film that it's gone on this long. There's so many new audiences are still discovering the film and are keen to see more.
Yeah, which is lovely, and that's been the case since the movie came out. Actually, people have said to me, you know, whenever they've seen me at events and stuff, when are we going to see a Willow sequel? And what happened was, when we were on Solo, John Kasdan, the screenwriter, he'd been chatting to me saying what a big fan of Willow he was, and I said, oh, thanks very much. And then when Ron Howard came on to direct that film, John and him got to talking, and John has been championing the project ever since. And so I've known about Willow, the series, for a couple of years now. Not that it had a green light, but we've been working on developing it for quite some time now. And I'm really excited to revisit the character, to be honest. As an actor, I'm older and wiser than I was when I was 17. And the character has obviously aged as much as I have. And to go back and be able to do something again that you already tried in your career once is going to be a joy, actually. And the scripts I've seen so far are incredible. I can't tell you anything about them, but John and the writing team have done a stellar job in what they've put together here. And John Chu, the director, he's got such great visual ideas for the project as well. It's going to look so unique, and you know, we're not looking at this like it's for a TV show for a streaming platform. We're looking at this as if it's a motion picture. You know, it's can have all the epic kind of scale that you'd expect from a big screen adaptation.
Yeah. Well, obviously, we'll be seeing you. Do you think we might? Obviously, you won't tell me, of course, but it would be nice, I'm sure, for audiences if they get to see some of the old guard maybe come back.
Oh yeah, you know, for me it would be an absolute joy to share the screen once again with Val Kilmer. But as yet, there's nothing official on who's coming back. But I think that's an important part of the kind of Willow DNA, is these characters we established in the film. You know, I think it's important that we try and see those coming back. But I don't know anything official yet that I can say.
It's very exciting. I will be honest with you, but
Thank you, Scott.
I like the idea of you doing it as a movie and then having it, you know, treating it as a movie and then having it, if it's episodic, it's obviously a bit.
Yeah, that's right.
That would be fantastic.
But visually, it's going to have, you know, we don't think small, we think big when we do these things, and that's how John's approaching it. Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. I cannot wait. So fingers crossed you get to do that soon. Thank you so much for your time. Scott. Absolute pleasure. I wish you all the best with Master Moley. I think it's great fun.
Thank you very much.
I'm sure audiences everywhere. Well, we need this right now. We need a bit of magic and a bit of fun. So it's coming at a good time, I think. So
of course.
That's great. Thank you so much for your time. Absolutely.
Cheers, Scott. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys.
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey You Guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yes.
Nice.
Hey You